Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jamie. It's LNTV, it's Logic Motorsport, it's all that good stuff, and you guys know the one. So basically I'm here today at VBT, or Vagbrem Technic, for want of a better name, with the man himself. This is Dean Woods. He runs VBT, his knowledge on braking and brakes and friction in general is absolutely second to none. So what better person to be getting involved with? Dean, tell the guys a little bit about yourself and what you basically do here at VBT.
Right, well, I'm Dean Woods. I've been in the friction industry for the last 12 years now, working with people like Brembo and Pagid and Mintex, Ferodo as well, and AP Racing. So working directly with these people, you build really good background knowledge of systems and training. Obviously, you know, we need to know about how these things fit, not just what the quality of things are. So we're a technical support as well as a supplier. So if we need to do, say you've got a problem with a car that you're working on, you give me a ring. If we can do it, I'll be there with you, working on the car. Okay. So basically I came into Vagbrem Technic last year, from obviously working with the big brake companies. And what I've seen of this company is fantastic, and I can see a real vision for it. And it's already, in the last 12 months, it's just going from better. That's what I like to hear. So we're growing exponentially at the minute. Exponentially. Mainly. That's a word for the channel going forward. Make a note of that, please, Paige. Exponentially. Mainly around the VAG market. We've been touching with BMW as well, but obviously there's other markets that we want to get into. Now, where VBT started was basically a real need for braking systems for VAG cars. Okay. So lots of people were putting a Porsche caliper on this car and this car and this car. So what VBT did was start to develop the brackets for people to be able to do that easily. Yes. Because it would always cost an absolute fortune to be able to do that. But what it also stemmed out of it was people were putting the wrong things on the wrong things, and they weren't matching things up right. Okay. So that's where they came into it even more. So if you look at things like swept area of a disc, people don't understand how critical that is to make sure that pad matches that swept area. Okay. So you can get other problems which we won't go into now, but long and boring. Knowledge, and that's exactly what it's about, guys. The more we can tell you, the more we can educate you on, the better it is for you guys, and the better it is for us. And obviously, this is the market. Well, that's it. And then obviously it's all sort of developed from there. We're creating bigger and better things. We're dealing with people like AP Racing, so we love their calipers. They're just phenomenally good. Their rotors, and they're currently the only ones we're using for the bigger brake kits that we do. Okay. We've got a very good relationship with people like Ferodo and Mintex Racing, which is obviously what we've been talking about over the last few months. So obviously one of the markets we've always looked at is Ford, but we don't know enough about that to get into it, which is why we want you. We'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, basically what's happening, guys, over at Logic Motorsport, we are a massive advocate for the Ford market. We do a lot of tuning, we do a lot of styling, we do a lot of performance, and we do a lot of things to make the Ford cars go fast. So we do stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, all supporting hardware, the tuning, and like I say, everything in terms of getting the car off the line, down the road or down the track as fast as possible. It's time for us to look into safety, look into stopping, and develop a relationship with the best people in the industry as far as we're concerned, and basically we want to pull VBT into Ford. So this video basically is about what we're doing, which is Logic Motorsport are now the official UK distributors for Ford. We're going to test the market with the Fiesta ST180, and then obviously we're going to use that as a testing ground. We're going to judge that market. We're then going to move into the Focuses and the STs, the RSs, other bits and pieces. But before we go further into that, we're going to talk a little bit more about what we're actually going to do for the Fiesta ST180, and we'll talk a little bit more about some other stuff.
Okay guys, so next part of the video we're just going to talk about what we're actually going to be doing for the Fiesta ST180. What we're going to be bringing VBT in to do, the actual specifics and setup that we're going to be bringing to the market first, prior to coming into the Ford Focus RS, ST and everything else. I just want to quickly say, or whatever, quickly state that it's a bit of an honour / privilege for Logic Motorsport to be able to be the guys that pull VBT from the VAG market into the Ford market as well. And it's definitely a point to say that from a consumer point of view, it's a treat for you guys too. The reputation, the knowledge, the performance and the service that these guys have delivered to the VAG market over the past few years has been top notch. And then obviously to be able to bring that into Ford, it's just going to be amazing for everybody involved. So let's talk a little bit about the ST180 package and what it actually is. I'll quickly run over it, and then Brains here will we'll give you a bit more technical information and go through why we've set it up. So basically what we've got here is a beautiful hooked style disc. These are going to be available for the front and the rear of the car, and to go along with that we've got the Mintex racing pads, again front and rear, and then we're going to potentially look into doing bits and pieces like braided hoses and additional bigger calipers further down the line. But for the time being, market testing situation, this is what we've got. Dean?
Yeah, it's a great starting point. I mean, the discs are coated as well, so they resist corrosion, which is always nicer to see than a rusty disc behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, all discs will corrode eventually, but we try and minimise that as much as possible.
Slow it down a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Mintex Racing, one of the best brake brands out there, owned by a company called TMD Friction.
Okay.
They currently make 1 million pads a day. So these guys know what they're on about.
Yeah.
Their reputation for braking products, I mean, these are great fast road pads, so they're not full-on race pads.
Yeah.
They do work from cold.
We do know that you guys have your Fiesta. Sorry to cut you off. We do like to give it some, don't we? On the back roads, on the motorway, country lanes, it's a bit of a given that you guys push these cars to the limit in certain situations. So it's good to know that the pads and everything else is capable of that.
Yeah. And there's further, you can go further down the road, you can go to 1155s and things like that, so there's always other options available for people who do want to do track days and things like that.
Yeah.
But we always talk about that. Obviously what we do generally with the VAG market, we do the big brake kits. Obviously we use a lot of the AP racing rotors, we use our custom bells which we have made up, and obviously with our brackets. This is one of our flagship calipers, which is not our flagship caliper, AP Racing's flagship calipers, which is the Radical 2 6-pot. We run that with a 390mm disc for the Golfs, 5, 6, 7s and 8s now, GTIs and theirs.
Yeah.
So I think we're onto a good foundation. You know these cars better than we do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we've always been of the opinion that if you're in a certain market, specialise in it.
That's exactly right.
We don't know Fords, we know VAG.
That's exactly right.
So, and we wouldn't expect it to sort of cross over so much, but you know the ins and outs, you know the common issues these certain cars have, and it's all about that knowledge.
Yeah.
So this is a really, really good starting point. I mean, to be fair, sometimes that's an end point for people. That's as much as they'll ever need.
We want to come in offering reliable performance. We want to come in offering reliable equipment. Obviously, these cars are going to go under quite a lot of stress and strain.
Yeah.
And like I said, guys, this is literally just going to be the first step. We've got the market, we know the Ford scene, we know the demand for brakes, and we know the demand for anything below a full caliper setup. It's quite high, and it's always what's the crack with the OEM stuff and da-da-da-da. We want to offer something that's performance, where you can still utilise your factory caliper, but we're going to be looking further down the line into uprated stuff as well. So for us to utilise the knowledge of VBT, the experience, the capability of VBT, and bring it into the market that we are, which is Ford, it's
it's going to be good.
A big step.
Times ahead, isn't it?
Yeah. So
absolutely. We're excited about it. We're happy to be working with you.
Perfect.
Because it's all the stuff you've done with us so far has been fantastic. So
we're super excited. Logic Motorsport and VBT partnership is official. Here's the video. Here's the products. It'll be coming to market soon. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Don't forget, jump over to YouTube, which is Logic Motorsport, Instagram, which is logic.motorsport, Facebook, which is Logic Motorsport, and don't forget to check out VBT. You'll just need to Google them, but give them the website anyway.
Yes, just vagbremtechnic.com.
Start stopping, guys. Let's go.